And it's very frustrating on how the coverage of Chinese Flight 370, and it's been different than other international outlets when you think about the media perspective. I spoke to Ching-Ching, Associate Dean at Shantou University's of Journalism and Communications School, and I asked her what she thought.
The company, Malaysian Airlines, needs to provide as much information as possible. They need to think about the families first. And because information was not provided adequately, by the time it was provided, it came in late, it was confusing. It was very understandable that the families are angry at the airlines for not having enough information.
And all the major networks, including all the smaller networks as well, and not just in the U.S., but around the world, are giving this substantial coverage.
Yes.
I mean, China has a substantial portion of the population of the missing aircraft are from China.
Right.
The U.S. has one, but they're still giving quite a bit of coverage. I think this crosses over cultural boundaries. There's so many reasons why people are interested as to what actually happened. In your opinion, what's the difference in the way that the Chinese media has covered this event versus how Western media has covered the event?
Yeah, I think really the Western media has taken the lead on the story. Chinese media is really learning from how, the Western media, how they investigate such a complex international story, breaking news, aviation story, a grand mystery. The Chinese media, what they have done well is focusing on the families and the humanity of the story, because they're right there in Beijing and they have these horrible stories, really bringing to life the stories of the family members, of the grandparents, the parents with the 2-year-old baby, the newlywed, you know, the boyfriend who went to Malaysia to meet his girlfriend and how now he's missing.
So a lot of personal stories.
But if you look at CNN, what you see is a lot of talking heads talking about the investigation, which is also critical, but this is where you see a little bit of difference. And the Chinese media is really learning a lot from the Western media. And this is a story that's being watched around the world. So you're not just watching Chinese media or just watching Western media. Everyone is watching all the media.
Well, I mean, I can tell you in this studio and in this newsroom, everyone's a critic of what every channel does. Everybody has an opinion. This story is a mystery. It's a crisis. But one of the criticisms that's come out of this is some people have said there's too much speculation.
Yeah.
And some would argue that we don't know where the plane is. What's wrong with educated speculation?
Well, because there's too many unknowns in this story. It is a grand mystery. That's why everybody's hooked on the story. We don't have the answers, and the media, because it's covering it 24 hours a day, and CNN is not covering anything else as far as I know, so that lends itself to speculation. But also because we don't have good answers coming out of the airlines, coming out of the Malaysian government, and we don't have good communication through the media to help us better understand.
This brings me back to a bigger question. You and I, if we weren't on camera, we would be speculating as to what happened to the aircraft. That's what the majority of the population is doing. They're speculating. Is television, is news media, is it reflective of what people are talking about on the street? I mean, wouldn't that make speculation okay? Because that's what everyone's thinking about.
It's not where it's okay. Everybody wants answers. Everybody is trying to provide speculation. Everybody wants to know, but if you're not getting answers from TV, you're looking at your social media, you're seeing what other people on social media are saying, you're seeing what the Americans are saying, what the Chinese are saying, what the Malaysians are saying. Everybody wants answers right now. We don't have it, and quite frankly, it's hard to, it's very understandable, but that people are grasping.
Australia, within the last few hours, have announced they've possibly found some of the wreckage. They're in a process of confirming those reports. If you could say one thing to the Malaysian government or Malaysian Airlines, if and when they do find the wreckage, if that's true, how should they handle that?
Well, I'm not an expert on how they should handle this, but they really should communicate with the public, with the families, and tell them as soon as they know something, they should talk to the families. They should not be putting them in a hotel for 5 hours and not talk to the media for 13 hours, or however long it was. And as we know, in this situation, information trickled out slowly, and information was often confusing and conflicting. So if they find information, they really should let the people know.